Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Chaos Daily Show. 15 already, holy crap. It would be more if we'd kept up. I thought hang on, Chaos. You weren't supposed to talk about that week that we took off. Thought we said we'd never speak of it again. Shame on me. Anyway, so today I want to get on to doing this mechanism for the tail. Get that sort of roughed out, get started on it. But before I do, I want to finalize the shape and make sure everything is good. So in order to do that, I need to start looking at some cross sections to make sure, because it's hard to tell what the airfoil shape looks like at each individual point along the wing. You know, is there anywhere that's a little bit screwy? So there's an easy way to check that. We can just come in here with a half section and chuck it on this plane, and then we can come in and look at the cross-sectional plane throughout. So this is the cross-section down the center. That's not too bad. I'm okay with that. It's probably a little low at the bottom here, but that's not too much of an issue. We can ignore this because it's thin. It's more like a wing shape, and as well as the tail, so that's all good. So let's move past the tail. That still looks good, I might want to change the shape a bit at the back here. This is going to cause some vortices. It's mostly curved, but there's going to be some drag generated here, so I might want to sharpen up this point so that it sheds the airflow a little better, especially through here. Yeah, right here, that's terrible. However, that is on the end of the fuselage there, so you're going to get it flowing around the side there. So in here in this corner I might have some issues. Need to adjust the airfoil at the root, especially at the front here. It looks more like a reversed airfoil at the moment. I need to bring this bulge forward and thin it out at the back a bit. So we need to work on the root. That's looking pretty good. It's a pretty neutral airfoil, so the thing can fly upside down if it wants to. I'm just looking at the shape of the undercut here at the front, and I'm wondering if that's okay. It should be fine, but it's a very plain airfoil. Like, it's very, it doesn't bulge too much throughout. So far, so good. Now we're coming to the section for the prop. That all looks good. We're going to add fillets. We're going to fillet this so it's smoothed out. So that'll be fine. It's nice even consistency and thickness all the way through, which I'm happy to see. But here again, we need to bring the bulge forward, the top surface bulge. So at the root after the propeller, it's still good. The tip looks fantastic. That's a really good shape. Even getting some undercut here on the underside here, so getting some concavity, which is good. So we can get decent lift off the tip. I mean, it is an ugly looking airfoil shape, but if we come to the right side view, I might want to adjust this actually. Bring this, yeah, I think the leading edge along the whole thing needs a bit of adjustment. Just a little bit. Alright, so basically just the leading edge needs to come forward, and I need to shift the bulge at the back here, and the bulge in through here. So let's jump into the modeling view and we'll get that done. Okay, so went through and adjusted some of the shape of it on the wing. Let's come in and verify. Just quickly scan through it. Yeah, it's much better, especially there. And that wingtip is looking way better. Excellent. All right, next we want to check the chord transition, which is this one. Bring it to the front. This isn't as much important as the previous one, but this helps me see the increase in cross-sectional area and get an idea for how much that cross-sectional area changes along the chord, and it looks like a very good transition. I'm happy with that. Front view, wing looks good. Side view, penguin, dolphin, shark thing. It's the weirdest looking airplane design I've ever made, that's for sure. Top view, let's change it so we can get more zoomed in. And then it's got like this stingray aspect to it. It's just weird. Kind of looks like a bat as well with these cutouts. Bat wings, seagull wings or something. Yeah, okay, I'm good with that. So next up, we're gonna start cutting this up. And am I happy with the shape? You see, this because once I start cutting up, there's no going back. If I want to go back, I have to go back to this model and start from scratch again with all the cutting up that I have to do. So if I need to change anything on the model, it's a big issue to try and sort it. Ooh, we should probably check that. Let's check the acid zebra. Acid zebra. Yeah, a lot of people will look at this and go, what the hell? But when you understand the rules behind how these lines get created across the thing and how they move with the camera and how they will behave when you move the camera, when you understand those things, it's very helpful for people to try and find. Now you see this, how it's a nice clean transition all the way along, right? If I move the camera and that stripe moves almost entirely across the whole surface all together, it doesn't break anyway, like there's no white spots in here. That means that it's a nice smooth transitioned surface. There is a bit of an issue in here, as you can see where there's a white spot, so there's a dip or something in there, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about that. And if we look at the top, the lines seem to see there's all these like little jaggy bits. These jaggy bits tells me that there's a little bit of issue with the uniformity of the surface, but overall it's pretty good. Right, there's not too much to worry about. The lines move across nicely. And if we come to the side, you want to check your airfoil shape. This is another good way to do it, which is a little hard with this seagull. It's like a double dihedral, but the lines seem to be moving. If I can get the camera to move in the right place, they seem to be moving correctly. So the fuselage looks good. There's a little bit of weirdness going on in here. I think that was just the camera angle. Yeah. That's all fine. Acid zebra, and that's trippy to look at. Alright, I'm happy with the shape, so we're going to move on to cutting it up and working on this hinge mechanism. We're just going to block out the individual main components of the body for now. We're not going to work on the actual mechanism that makes it move. We're just going to say, okay, this bit, we're going to chop this piece off. This piece is going to be for the tilt rotor and for the motor housing. And this piece is going to be the part that hinges, and then the rest of the body. So we're just going to cut two pieces off. Cool. So let's turn this off again so we don't have an epileptic fit and get to work. Okay, so before we go any further, I quickly did a Google search for servos in large tricopters, like 900 size, 950 size, 800 size tricopters, and this one seems to be apparently a one that somebody's using in a tricopter about the size of what I'm building. I mean, they're going even larger props. They're talking 15 by 4 props with 390 kV motors. So this servo would be overkill, and that's fine with me. Overkill works just fine. So like these are the only dimensions I can find for it. There's no like drawings for this servo motor. I even did a Google search, servo motor dimensions, and nothing, whole lot of nothing. So I will just have to block it out and go with it until I can find, like, actually get my hands on it and get some physical dimensions off of it, or spend a few hours trawling through the internet to try and get a drawing of it. We won't have any luck with that, so we'll get straight into it. But first, let's just have the dimensions up handy. These are easier to read. Okay, so I checked my footage, realized some of my mistakes, thought about it, fixed it, solved some problems, drew a picture, and we're back. So we've got the two components that will attach to the main tail. We've got the tilt section. This is the bit that twists for the propeller. We've got the transition section, or the knuckle, the joint, or the knee, or whatever you want to call it, which houses the tilt section and the axle, which is an imaginary axle because there's a servo in the middle of it. But there will be here, there'll be a pin on this side with a screw that attaches the tilt section to its pivot point through to the other side, where the gear that comes out of the servo will plug into the tilt section. So that'll all line up and make an imaginary axle through this line. So the yellow is for axles or pivots. Cool bananas. Let's do it. Okay, so we have 3 individual pieces now. Excellent. Hide you for the moment. Zoom in on these. We've got the tilt mechanism for the flight transition, and then we've got the motor tilt for yaw control. So hey ho, that was it's a bit messy. I'll clean it up, but again, like, it's hard to get this, like, to do it properly, knowing that I'm gonna have to do it again when I get my hands on the servo, so I can get accurate dimensions of the servo. So like, I've just gone through and basically mocked it up as how it's going to function, and then I can come back and make it better when I know the dimensions. We could probably come in and clean this up already, just to make it look a little smancier. Let's do a 5. We might as well hit these ones as well, like so. That looks pretty good. And then there's this hole here so that you can get to the screw that fixes it all together. And then I need to make holes in the side for the hinge, the thingy majiggy doodads that will attach to the rest of the aircraft here. So, but I haven't even considered how the internals of this is going to work. I've had to play with the idea of how these are going to work, the front propellers, and I think I've got them pretty much sorted. These will be easy. I say now. I haven't even started on them, and I already say, oh yeah, that'll be easy. Yeah, I know how these things go. Okay, so I think that'll do it for today's episode. Quite a bit of time-lapsey stuff there for you. Good old time-lapsey. Getting lots of boring, uninteresting stuff into a short period of time with music makes it interesting to watch, apparently. That's how the world works, kids. That's how the world works. Time-lapse montages. Yep, everything happens in a montage. Keep telling yourself that, you'll get far. Oh, just... Okay. Before anyone asks, no, I'm not going to make it out of carbon fiber as much as I would love to. It's going to be 3D printed. I have the carbon fiber texture on here because I like carbon fiber. It's a really sick carbon fiber texture. I made it myself. It's really nice. All those carbony, fibery goodness. Oh, so good. Alright, so... As always, I've been Chaos. Thank you for joining me. If you like what you saw, hit the like button. Please hit that goddamn like button. I need those likes so we can spread the word, get more viewers, more subscribers, and then I can make money and I can make this stuff for real. Because I can't do jack without money, and nobody will give me a job. So either you give me money, or you find ways for other people to give me money. That's how the world works now. I need money. So, hit like, subscribe, go to my Patreon if you can. I know, like, there's a lot of people in my situation that just can't, like, there are people I would love to go on Patreon and give money to, but I don't have money to give to people. I want people to give me money. So, as always, expect the unexpected. And until next time, see you guys later.